I welcome you to my channel. Subscribe and listen to my new stories every day. It's a crisp Friday evening, and the glow of the setting sun gives way to the artificial lights of our living room. I've just returned from another grueling day at the office, my mind set on unwinding with a session of Racing 3, my current obsession in a top-tier console game that's consumed my free evenings for months. As I toss my keys on the kitchen counter and kick off my shoes, the unmistakable sound of screeching tires and crowd cheers drifts from the living room. Odd, I muse, since Marla, my wife, has never taken an interest in my gaming. She usually spends her evenings curled up with a book or catching up on her favorite TV shows. Pushing open the door, the scene before me jolts me to a stop. There, sprawled on our couch with a controller in hand, is a young man with a focused gaze fixed on our television screen. His appearance is unkempt, his concentration palpable. "Can I help you?" I manage, my voice a mix of confusion and rising irritation. Without tearing his eyes away from the screen, he responds, "Just trying to beat your high score, man." Almost there. A chill runs down my spine. "Who are you?" I demand, stepping closer. Just then, Marla appears at the hallway, her expression a concoction of surprise and guilt. "Tom, this is Danny. He's a friend." The word hangs between us, heavy and ambiguous. I glance at the screen and notice not only has my ranking dropped, but a significant chunk of my in-game currency is missing. A friend who uses my console and deletes my progress. I retort, struggling to keep my voice steady. Marla bites her lip, her usual composure slipping. "I was going to tell you, Tom. It's just." "Just what, Marla?" "That you let someone play on my account. Or is there more?" The air thickens with tension as Danny pauses the game and stands, offering a sheepish look my way. "I should probably go," he mumbles, but I block his path. "No, stay. I think we need to clear the air, all of us," I say, my heart hammering in my chest. As Danny sinks back onto the couch, Marla's shoulders slump. "Tom, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to tell you. Danny and we've been seeing each other." The room spins as her words sink in. Betrayal slices through the shock, rooting me to the spot. I stare at her, at him, the pieces clicking into place, this stranger in my home, the missing game credits, the secret liaisons. Why? The word escapes me before I can consider it, raw and wounded. "It just happened," Marla whispers, her eyes not meeting mine. "He came over to fix the internet last month, and we started talking. He saw the console, asked if he could play sometime. And you thought you'd throw in a bonus?" I snap, anger flaring as I turn to Danny. "Was it all just for the game?" He has the decency to look ashamed as he nods. "Partly. But, man, I didn't mean to cause any trouble." "Trouble," I echo, a bitter laugh escaping me. "You have no idea." I look at Marla, the woman I married, and see a stranger. "I want you out, Marla. Both of you." "But Tom." "No, Marla. It's done. I'll send someone for your things." As they leave, the silence that falls is suffocating. Alone, I stare at the idle console, my mind racing. Betrayed and robbed, not just of my in-game credits, but of my trust and partnership. Something within me hardens, this isn't just about a game. It's about my life, and I vow then, no matter the cost, I'll have my revenge. I pick up the controller, staring at the screen where my name once topped the leaderboard. "Game on," I mutter to myself, the plan already forming in my mind. This is just the beginning. In the solitude of the living room, with the ghost of betrayal still lingering in the air, my fingers hover over the phone. The silence of the room is deafening, interrupted only by the low hum of the console still on pause. The idea of retribution, once a distant thought, now takes a solid shape. I dial Brian, my best friend since college and the only person I trust to understand the gravity of this situation. He picks up on the second ring. Tom. Hey, man, what's up? You sound off. I take a deep breath, the words pouring out. Marla cheated on me, Brian. With some guy who was just using her to play my console, no less. There's a pause, and then Brian's voice, heavy with disbelief. What? That's insane, man. Are you okay? No, I'm not okay. I want to make them pay, Brian. Both of them. A sharp intake of breath on the other end, then, alright, what are you thinking? I paced the room, my plan growing clearer with each step. I need to hit where it hurts. Danny's obsessed with gaming, so I'll start there. I'm going to make sure he can't play on any console, ever again. Brian's hesitation is palpable. How are you going to manage that? I have a few contacts from the gaming leagues. I can make a few calls, ensure his IP gets blacklisted. As for Marla. My voice trails off, the sting of her betrayal rekindling the anger. What about her? Brian probes gently. She loves her online business, right? Well, if she can't access her accounts because someone keeps hacking them. Tom, Brian cuts in, that's serious. You could get into a lot of trouble. I stop mid-step, my resolve unwavering. I don't care, Brian. They didn't think about the consequences when they betrayed me. There's a heavy sigh from Brian. Okay, man. If you're set on this, at least let me help you cover your tracks. We need to be smart about it. Gratitude washes over me. Thanks, Brian. I knew I could count on you. We spend the next hour crafting a meticulous plan. Brian outlines the basics of cybersecurity and the art of digital misdirection. We discuss using VPNs, creating plausible deniability, and the best ways to execute my plan without leading back to me. By the end of the call, I'm equipped not just with technical knowledge but with a renewed sense of control. The phone clicks off, and I turn back to the console. With a final glance at the screen, I power it down, the closing chime sounding like the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. As I head to bed, the weight of my decisions begins to settle in. The darkness of the room envelopes me, and for a moment, I hesitate. Can I really go through with this? Then, the images of Marla and Danny, laughing together, oblivious to the pain they caused, flash through my mind. Yes, I can do this. I have to. As sleep claims me, my last thought is a simple echo of my resolve: revenge is a game, and I intend to win. Monday morning arrives with a sense of purpose I haven't felt in days. I sit in my home office, a space once shared with laughter and casual chats with Marla, now a command center for my plans of retribution. The screens glow, ready for the execution of a plan meticulously crafted over the weekend. My first move targets Danny, the usurper of my digital and domestic life. I start with the gaming forums, using an anonymous identity. With each post, I weave a narrative of a notorious cheater, complete with fabricated evidence of Danny using exploits in popular games. The gaming community, ever vigilant against unfair play, takes the bait eagerly. As I watch the forum threads grow, a mix of satisfaction and a darker thrill courses through me. Let's see you climb the leaderboards now, Danny, I mutter under my breath. The second phase involves Marla's online boutique. Her business relies heavily on her social media presence, something I helped her build over the years. I recall Brian's advice about maintaining anonymity as I initiate a series of minor but disruptive cyber attacks on her accounts. Password resets, small changes to her website's layout, and subtle misinformation on her product pages, all designed to sow confusion and diminish her credibility. Midway through implementing the disruptions, my phone rings. The screen flashes Brian's name, and I answer with a cautious, yes. Hey, Tom, just checking in. How are things on your end? Moving forward, I reply, keeping my tone neutral. Phase 1 against Danny is in full swing. And Marla's site is starting to feel like a digital haunted house. Brian's chuckle is dry. Just be careful, man. Remember, the goal is retribution, not total destruction. You don't want this tracing back to you. His warning is a splash of cold water on my fervor. I know. I'm covering my tracks. Good, he says. And Tom? Maybe think about what you'll do after this. After the anger. The question hangs in the air long after we hang up. I lean back in my chair, the thrill of my initial actions fading slightly. What comes after revenge? The satisfaction of their confusion and frustration feels hollow when faced with the ongoing silence of the house. As the day turns to evening, I keep an eye on the digital chaos unfolding. Reports of Danny's supposed cheating escalate, heated discussions spread across multiple gaming platforms. Simultaneously, Marla's business receives several confused and angry emails from customers encountering problems on her website. Just as I'm about to log off for the night, an unexpected notification pops up: Marla is calling. My finger hovers over the decline button, but something, perhaps a lingering shred of our shared past, compels me to answer. Tom, her voice comes through, tinged with distress. Did you do something to my website? I feign ignorance smoothly. What are you talking about, Marla? It's just, there are so many weird issues. I thought maybe, she trails off, likely remembering our shared technical ventures. Sorry, Marla, but you're on your own with this one, I say, a mix of satisfaction and regret swirling within me. We end the call with polite, distant goodbyes, the kind reserved for strangers. As I set down the phone, the full weight of my actions presses down on me. In seeking revenge, I've crossed lines I once held sacred. And yet, with every alert about Danny's downfall and Marla's distress, a part of me feels vindicated, even victorious. But as night deepens and the house's silence grows louder, I wonder if this victory is as fulfilling as I had imagined. The game of revenge is far from over, and already, I am unsure of the rules. The weeks slide by like the slow drip of a leaking faucet, each drop echoing the growing rift in my life. My maneuvers against Danny and Marla have not ceased, they've intensified, driven by a relentless need for retribution that consumes my waking hours. The digital world, once a playground, has morphed into a battlefield, with each attack meticulously planned for maximum impact. One evening, as the glow of the screen paints ghostly figures on the walls of my now solitary home, an idea crystallizes, one final stroke to sever the ties forever and ensure they never forget the sting of their betrayal. I start with Danny, the easier target. His online persona has already been marred by accusations and virtual exile, but I crave a more tangible victory. Through the network of gamers and a few discreet inquiries, I discover he's scheduled to participate in a major gaming tournament. It's the perfect venue for my final act. Using a fabricated identity, I contact the tournament organizers with concerns about Danny's integrity, providing them with irrefutable evidence of his supposed cheating. The news spreads like wildfire, and by the day of the event, Danny's disqualification is public and humiliating. Cameras capture his shocked face, the realization of his downfall clear in his eyes. But there's no satisfaction watching him crumble, the hollowness inside me grows. Turning my attention to Marla, I plan the most devastating blow. Her online business, once thriving, now teeters on the brink due to the continuous glitches and customer complaints. I decide to push it over the edge. Late at night, under the veil of anonymity provided by the dark web, I hire a hacker to initiate a data breach, leaking her customers' sensitive information. The fallout is immediate and catastrophic. Her website is blacklisted, her social media accounts are flooded with outrage, and soon, legal threats begin to pour in. Marla's dream dissolves into a digital nightmare. Weeks after setting these final pieces into motion, I sit alone in a coffee shop, the buzz of the crowd around me a stark contrast to the silence of my heart. My phone buzzes, an unknown number. Curiosity piqued, I answer. Is this Tom? The voice is unfamiliar, cautious. Speaking into the receiver, I respond guardedly, yes. Who is this? This is Detective Arnold. I'm calling about the cyber attacks on Marla's business. We've traced the activities back to their origin. We need you to come in for questioning. A cold dread settles over me as I realize my oversight. In my quest for revenge, I had become sloppy, leaving digital breadcrumbs leading straight to me. The cafe around me blurs as I stand, my mind racing with potential outcomes. I agree to meet with the detective, my steps heavy as I head towards my car. The drive to the station is a blur, each mile a tightening noose of the reality I had refused to face. When I arrive, Detective Arnold is waiting, his expression unreadable. Inside the interrogation room, the detective lays out the evidence succinctly. The connections are clear, the intent undeniable. As the weight of potential charges hangs over me, a final, desperate plan forms. I'll cooperate, I say slowly, but I want protection. Marla and Danny, they can't know I turned myself in. Detective Arnold nods, his face giving away nothing. We can arrange that. But you need to understand, your actions have consequences, Tom. This isn't just a game. As I sign the documents agreeing to cooperate, the finality of it all sinks in. Marla and Danny, forever out of my life, the echoes of our past a bitter memory tainted by betrayal. And as I step out of the police station, under the terms of my release pending trial, the hatred of betrayal, their betrayal and mine, encircles me like a shroud, a constant reminder of the cost of vengeance.